Hey, my friends, I'm Drake White, and you're about to watch my Ask Anything chat I'm doing for Mr. Bobby Bones. Thanks again to Bobby for having me on today to answer your questions. Susie from Sarasota, do you get back to Hoax Bluff often? No, not as much as I would like to. Probably 3 times a year, 4 times a year, something like that. But it's so good to go back and talk to family and friends for sure. Miss Val from Lexington, how did you find out where you're going on tour? How did you find out you were going on tour with Dirks? My agent. My agent called me and said, "Hey, we have this opportunity with Dirks Bentley and Randy Hauser, and you're going to jump off the tour with the Zach Brown Band, and you're going to go. If you're all good with it, you're going to go be a part of Dirks, the end of Dirks Somewhere on a Beach tour." And of course, I was definitely for it, and it's been great. It's been a wonderful experience. Lisa from San Antonio, how did you put your band together? Oh, Lisa, my band, I prided myself off not having hired guns in my band. There's a lot of great players around Nashville. There's a lot of great things going on. But my band is a group of guys. They all are artists. They all have personalities. They all have opinions. God, they have tons of opinions. And we balance each other. I've always wanted to be a part of a band and wanted that diplomacy in making music in my life. So I put them together over years of looking. I've hired and fired and got rid of people, and it's been a really tough thing. It's been a very rewarding thing because I have the right guys in place now. But I didn't ever settle. I didn't want to settle for second best. And I'll say this: you hire personalities. You don't really hire the skill set. Of course, they got to be able to perform and play their instrument, but you hire their personalities, because if you hire hard workers, then everything else takes care of itself. Kimberly from Atlanta, I'm seeing you in Scranton next week. What's your live show like? Oh, Kimberly, it's like if you built a big fire in the Appalachian Mountains and had cannons and no, it's full of energy. I'm a crazy man on stage. My guys are having fun. I've always said, fist pump before we go on stage. I've always told my guys, have fun, because if you have fun, the crowd will have fun. So we get out there, we mix it up with some of our influences, with some cover songs. We get y'all singing along. We get you having a memory, just escaping time for a second. It should be like a time capsule, a time portal. When you're at a live show. So just look for a lot of high energy and look to sing a little bit. Liz from Sherman Oaks. Since you're on the road a lot, do you bring things out with you to supervise? Example: make sure someone cuts the grass, feeds the dog, picks up the mail, starts your car. This is an amazing question, Liz. Everybody does it different, but I'm a do-it-yourself guy. Like, I've got my mowers, my weed eaters, everything's at home to do all the lawn work. I love doing it. I love being outside. I have about 3 acres of grass that I have to cut. I've got a group, we call them the compound family at the house. And they're just a group of friends that live around us, and they take care of my dogs. My wife's home a lot, so she takes care of her dog, but we have a pool too. So I've got some dear friends. Joel Turner's one of them. That he's just my guy that I call. Say, hey man, I'm not home. Haven't been home in about 2 weeks. Can you help Alex out with the grass or help with the dogs and stuff like that? So it's good people helping out that make it possible. Jesse from Brownsville, has your tour bus driver ever let you drive the bus? I have drove the bus. I don't think it's a matter of really him letting me. It's just, I think it being from a legal standpoint, you got to have your Type C or whatever it's called. You got to have a license to drive the bus. But I love to drive things. Like if it's got wheels or tires or tracks, I'm gonna try to drive it in some respect. So I have got in the bus and took off before. Miss Dot from Pittsburgh, what sports teams do you follow? Well, being from Alabama, I am an Alabama Crimson Tide football fan. I'm a Braves fan, and I'm a Saints fan. So I follow those guys. Ellis from Olinda. What's it like having a tour bus? It's like camping. It's not as glamorous as people would think it is. You've got 8 guys in a 200 square foot deal, and I'm not complaining because it's a lot better than a van, which I was in before the tour bus, but it is like camping. You got your bags there. You wake up in the morning, you open your bags, and you figure out where you go. You know where you got to go, where there's a shower, where there's a bathroom, where there's this and that. So it's not as glamorous as you might think. Natasha from Toronto asked, when you start a tour, does the bus pick you up outside of your house? No, we have a bus call, and that's usually in a Walmart parking lot. These are good questions because people, like, I thought that. I thought, when Eric Church goes, like, he's got a bus that comes and goes, come on, Eric, jump on the bus. No, we all meet in a Walmart parking lot, jump on the bus, leave our cars there, and take off. Demi from Columbus. Who designed your album cover? My album cover was designed by a couple of different people. I had the original idea in the pictures and the collage, and then putting them together in the way that they were put together was done by multiple people at our label, and actually a handicap artist that has since passed away, actually. Michelle from State College. What are your tour plans for 2017? Good question, Michelle. We are going to it's very important to me for us to establish our own hard ticket sale, which means I want people to come to Drake White shows. So I'm going to go back to these markets in which we've played with Zach and played with Dirks and played with Little Big Town and Eric Church. We're going to go back into these markets and play these 1,200, 1,500, 2,000 capacity venues and grow it and have a good 90-minute set for Drake White and the Big Fire fans to come and enjoy and just work on our own show. I'm sure we'll do some fairs and festivals, and we might get a opening opportunity with somebody, but right now we're focused on doing our own thing. Katie from Columbus. You've played all types of venues this year. Does your show change from small rooms to stadiums? Absolutely. We pride ourselves on changing our show up, and they're just different animals. Playing in a stadium for 30 minutes is totally different than playing in a 500 capacity bar for 2 hours. So you have to fill the crowd, and I feel like I'm good at that, and the band's good at that, at filling the crowd, and whether it's a Thursday night or a Saturday night, that makes a lot of difference. So we mold our set list around the way it feels and the geographical location of where we're at. Haley from Rockford. Drake, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? I'm going to drive 3 hours south down to Hokes Bluff, Alabama, and enjoy a bunch of food with my family. Maybe do a little bit of hunting, have some drinks with my uncles and cousins, and just chill out. Kayla from Wilmington. What is your next single from Spark? Well, our next single is Making Me Look Good Again. We're excited about it. Maddie from Covington. If you could have a gangster rapper's name, what would you pick? Cryphus Tulafini. I don't know if that's right. How many clothes Kristen from Memphis. How many clothes do you take on the road with you? I actually have a small carry-on bag that I pack underwear, socks, t-shirts, and 2 pairs of jeans and a belt. That's what I do there. And then I have a backpack in which I pack a toiletry bag, and usually I roll 2 button-up shirts and this blue jean jacket and my camouflage jacket, and that's it. All right, before we finish, I would like to take a minute to thank my good friend, Mr. Bobby Bones, for his support. It's a pleasure to always hang out with you and do things with you. Thank you. It's so nice that he gave the fans the time to ask questions and the time for me to answer their questions. Thank you. Cheers.